Now by one of the committee's key members, California Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman Schiff, thanks so much for joining us. You're also the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. You just heard Ryan's report. What does your committee actually hope to accomplish, first of all, in tonight's hearing?
Well, we hope to really tell the overall story of how close we came to losing our democracy and how we are not out of the woods. The multi-pronged effort to overturn a presidential election, the first time in history we had a non-peaceful transfer of power. What led up to January 6th, what happened on that day, put to rest these claims, this revisionist history, that this was a normal tourist day, that this was legitimate political discourse. So we want to tell the overall story. We want to do it in a way that will engage the public. And we also want to set out what we intend to show in the hearings to come.
You recently said that former President Trump, and I'm quoting you now, is the author and the architect of this plan to overturn the election, close quote. Will you present new evidence, Congressman, new evidence tonight to make that case to the American people?
There will be, I think, a mixture of evidence that we will present this evening and in the nights that follow, some of which the public has seen, much of which the public hasn't seen, that go to just how one thing led to another, one attempt to overturn the election led to another, ultimately culminating in that violent attack on the Capitol. We'll certainly be discussing in the days and weeks to come the president's role in each of these lines of effort, as well as what the president did and, critically, what the president didn't do while the Capitol was under attack. So we'll be covering all of that, certainly with 1,000 interviews that we've conducted and over 100,000 documents we've obtained. There's a lot of new information, and the challenge for us is how to discern what is the most important to share with the public and how to do so in a way that can be easily digested given the magnitude of these events.
The former president has already been impeached twice. He was acquitted twice at the same time. You were the lead impeachment manager in that first trial, but Trump remains, for all practical purposes, still the de facto leader of the Republican Party and a very potential presidential candidate in 2024. Do you believe these hearings will change any of that?
Well, these hearings are not aimed at the midterms or at the next presidential election. These are aimed at trying to protect our democracy from anyone who poses a threat to it, from anyone who would try to overturn a presidential election in the future. And, part of, I think, preparing the country and exposing all that went into the last attempt is to inoculate ourselves and make sure that we don't go through this again. So that's really our object, which is to expose what took place, all of the efforts to interfere with the peaceful transfer of power, and ultimately we intend to propose reforms to protect ourselves from any kind of a repetition.
And we will be getting, I'm asking, will we be getting new information released tonight?
Oh, yes. I mean, there will certainly be new information tonight. You'll see and hear things that haven't been aired before. And I think that will be true of each and every hearing. But, the challenge, Wolf, is that because the public has learned about many events contemporaneous with our learning about them, some of this is already in the public eye, but much will be new. And we hope that what will be most important is the way we weave it all together. That is, what is the whole story here? What took place? And how do the pieces fit together? These pieces that we've been hearing about for months and months, how does it fit together? Who was behind this? How close did it come to succeeding? And what led to the violence on that day?
Congressman Adam Schiff, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.